Yo, what's up everyone? Daniel Yuck here. Thank you all for tuning in today. I appreciate it. Today we're going to be diving into the world of tattoo needles yet again. Recently I made a video called Understanding Tattoo Needles, and in that video we go over how to decode a tattoo needle. We jump into some of the basic variables to consider upon picking out tattoo needles and a little bit more. So if you haven't, be sure to check that one out. This one's going to be a follow-up from that video. Within this video specific, what I would like to do is not so much show you all how to decode them, as we've already done that, but I want to show you all the differences within the performance and how they visually look. So as you can see, we have a bag right here full of the needles from that video, and we have a real skin. I will also leave links in the description below for all of this, so you can go ahead and check it out should you choose to invest on your end. I highly recommend to do so. Now, with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of going to grab needles at random, and I'm going to see if I can, well, maybe not at random. I'm going to grab some needles, and then we're just going to kind of do some lines and a little bit of testing here, and I'm going to show you all the differences between a standard diameter, a bug pen diameter, 00 diameter. You get the drift. So for this video, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking a first-hand look at the needles in their entirety, up close and personal, upon tattooing. So without further ado, let's just dive straight on into it. Okay, so I figured the first needles that we're going to sacrifice for this video would be the Big Boss 00 5-round liner long taper, and we're going to be matching that with the CNC Police standard 5-round long taper. So these are both the same needle points, which is 5. They're both the same configurations, which is round liner long tapers, and they're different of the diameter. So this one's 00, this one's standard. Very straightforward there. Now we're gonna start with the smaller, and we're gonna just work our way up. Now, since on the first video we did the 3-round liner comparison on that video, so we're gonna start with the 5 and kind of just work our way accordingly. Hopefully we can go ahead and get the point across here. So let's proceed accordingly. And for this demonstration, we're gonna be running everything at 7.5 volts. So with each needle, we're gonna pull a couple of lines, and just to confirm, we are using this slab of real skin. We may have to use front and back, which is perfectly fine here. So I'm just gonna pull a couple of lines per needle to give us the idea, so that way I preserve space while still getting the point across. We'll do 2 to 3 lines per needle. I think that will be pretty good to demonstrate with. And then this one's going to be the 5, T. And the top one's always going to be the 00, bottom's always going to be the standard. We could put that right here as well. So there we have the Big Wasp 5-round liner long taper. I'm going to proceed, and that's going to be the 00, and this one's going to be the standard 5-round long taper. This is a CNC Police cartridge. And we're going to run the same thing there. I will go ahead and do each one up, top and bottom of each other, so that way it's easier to compare. And right off the bat, I can see a dramatic difference in size here. So that one was the CNC Police needle. That one was the standard 5-round liner long taper. And I think I'm just going to fill out the information like I did with these two on pretty much all of them here. So off the bat, I'm not sure if I'm gonna bring them all up after I'm done up close to the camera, but for this one we will, so that way we can get the idea here. So as you can see though, it is an exponential difference from the 00 to the standard. The difference is definitely visible right off the bat. It doesn't, it doesn't really take much effort to see the difference between a 00 configuration and a standard configuration. So I think that that pretty much gets the point across. So I do like that format. Let's proceed accordingly. So let's go ahead and demonstrate the next configuration. For this one that I have available to me is going to be 7. So I'm going to get a 007 round liner. I'm going to get a standard 7 round liner. We're going to proceed the same way. Okay, so I couldn't, oddly enough, find a standard and a 007 round liner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare two 00 round liners. As you can see, one's quill, one's from CNC. This one's a long taper and this one is not. So for the 7 round liner, I'm going to compare the same diameter, but we're going to go ahead and change up the configuration a little bit to see the difference for that. I apologize, I just couldn't find a standard 7 round liner. So we're going to start with the long taper, and this is going to be the CNC Police 7 round liner long taper, and we're just going to keep running the format the same way. So that is the 7 round liner long taper 00. And the next one is going to be from Quill, which is a CNC family. And this one is going to be also a 007 round liner with just the standard round liner configuration, no long taper. So we're gonna see the diameter difference here. We should be able to see that. And go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and a like button for all the needles that we're going to sacrifice for the sake of education here. It's actually a good exercise for me to visibly see all of this as well. So So I feel like these little comparisons, these little demonstrations, the way that I'm delivering the information to you all is going to be effective, because we are definitely going to be able to see the differences in all of these needles. So as you can see right here, we have the 7 round liners up close, and the long taper is considerably smaller than the standard taper, as you can see right here. So in the end though, I will go ahead and I will bring the sheet up close. I will go ahead and leave it there so you can screenshot it. I'll freeze the screen so you can, keep that for your reference should you choose to do so. So let's go ahead and keep building this reference right here. So this next one will be a good one as well. So we're going to be using the CNC Police needles for this one, and this is going to be a 00 9 round liner long taper. This one's going to be a standard 9 round liner long taper, as you can see. So we're going to proceed accordingly per usual. This is going to be the 00 9 round liner long taper. So we are now going to move on to the standard. I'm sure the standard is going to be considerably larger than that configuration, and I hope this helps you to shed some light, you know, to be able to help you better pick the configurations for your tattoos at hand. A little close together, but we can still get the idea there. So as you can see, the standard is also considerably different. So by now we should, know that whenever we get a standard configuration, it's going to be larger over a 00 or even a bug pin. So that is them up close so far. And I'm not trying to get ideal lines or make, or have perfect penmanship, because naturally my penmanship is horrible. But I'm just trying to do this to get the point across, in which I feel it is definitely doing just that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next configuration. So right now we're at 5, 7, 9. I believe we're going to do 11 next. So for 11, I'm going to be using these two right here. This is going to be a Quill, as you can see, 00 11 round liner. This is going to be a TREX standard 11 round liner, as you can see. We're just going to go ahead and run the same thing per usual. And this is just going to be a round liner, no long taper, no taper, just a standard taper. And this is going to be the 00 configuration. This one here is one of my favorite configurations to do outlines. Let's say if I'm going to do like a floral outline of some sort, I'm definitely going to go to this size right here. And for shading, I would use a 003 round liner as well. So let me put the needle away, or into this cup here. So that is the 00 11 round liner from Quill. We're going to repeat the process with the TREX needle as well. Oh, my bad. So off the bat, right away, the standard 11 round liner is considerably larger. It's visibly larger off the bat, as you can see. Yes, I just want to go confirm if that was the 11 round liner, and that indeed is a TREX 11 round liner. This is going to be standard. So you can see that is a dramatically bigger difference over these two that we just tested. So just to reiterate, the top one was a Quill 00 11 round liner, and the bottom is going to be a TREX standard 11 round liner. Both aren't wrong, depends on what you're going for. If you're really looking for that bolder line, then a standard may not be bad either. Neither is a wrong choice. I think it's just according to whatever design you're doing at hand. Okay, so for the first one, which is going to be round liners, this is essentially what I use, including the 3 round liner. This is going to be 5, 7, 9, and 11. We did use different configurations, such as a round liner long taper. We have different diameters as well. So that's going to be a great reference for you. The next needle type or the next needle configuration that I would like to demonstrate is round shaders, and I would like to show you how considerably larger they are over round liners. Now for the round shaders, unfortunately I don't have like a standard to compare to a 00 or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply pull 3 lines the same way that we did with these per needle, and I'm going to show you all the difference in size between round shaders and round liners. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into that. We're going to begin with the 3 round shader and just work our way up here. We have 3, 5, 7, 9, we have 11, 14, and 18. So we still will be able to get a good idea of round shaders and, you know, essentially what they are. I'm going to use them in context of lining for this. You can essentially use them however you see fit. So this one is going to be 003 round shader. So that's the configuration for that. That's what that visibly looks like. And we're just going to work our way now to the Stigma. And this is going to be Stigma needles. The same one before that was Stigma as well. Forgive me for that introducing that. This is going to be a 005 round shader. Now one thing that I'm noticing is the 5 round shader definitely jumps up a dramatic difference. Now the only difference to my understanding between round shaders and round liners is the diameter. The diameter would still be the same of each individual needle. The needle count would still be the same. However, what changes is the configuration. Round shaders typically have more space in between the needles, and that's the ultimate difference, where round liners have less space in between the needles. Someone had asked me in the Understanding Tattoo Needle video what was the difference between round shaders and round liners, and that's ultimately the difference to my understanding is the space in between the needles from round liners versus round shaders. And this one is going to also be a 00 configuration. And then I don't want to label this reference incorrectly. I did make a mistake here, but we fixed that 9 round liner taper, long taper there, so it should be readable. So that's a 5 round shader, and you can tell right off the bat it definitely jumps up larger there. That is a dramatic difference. So again, we're just gonna continue and just climb this ladder here. And the next one is going to be the 00 by Stigma 7 round shader as well. And I'm not trying to do like extensive tattoos or anything like that. Simple lines can literally demonstrate the point that I'm trying to make over dots or anything else, because dots can literally vary in size by the way that I put them in. And this is going to be the 7 round shader from Stigma. Shader. And this one's going to be 00. I love these needles. They're very consistent, very stable. Okay, so that is the Stigma 007 round shader right there. You can see it right off the bat. It is definitely getting larger as we go. So again, let's just continue climbing that ladder. The next configuration that we have available is going to be a standard 9-round shader. And we're going to be able to tell the difference here. So we're going to put this one next in the order of the needle count. And you're going to be able to see that this one may line up with this one because the space in between each individual needle here. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate what I mean. Because this one is 00, this one's standard. So the standard needle diameter is automatically bigger, which is going to result in a bolder line. Let me show you what I mean here. So this is the standard 9-round shader. So you can see that's exponentially larger than the other configuration. And this one's going to be from Rhein, as you can see. It's going to be standard 9-round shader. So as you can see right there, that is a 9-round shader. That is a standard 9-round shader there. Okay, so allow me to jump into the 00 11-round shader. Now, because it's a 00, the diameter of each individual needle is smaller. So that means it's going to result in either a similar or smaller thickness of the 9-round shader, standard 9-round shader, again, because of that 00 diameter. And this is also going to be good for this video right here, as it'll definitely demonstrate a point that I'm trying to make. So you can see the 11-round shader, because it is a 00, is comparable to the 9-round shader that's standard. As you can see, I really wouldn't be able to tell a difference in between these configurations right here. So you can see though, there's not a tremendous difference. Even though we did jump up in size, in terms of needle count, the diameter went down from here to here, which resulted in this right here. So let me go ahead and mark this correctly, so that way the reference is correct. And this one's going to be an 11-round shader. So you can see the diameter of the needle makes all of the difference as well. For me personally, I personally prefer 00 over bug pins and standard. I also like bug pins as well. I do like bug pin 3-round liners. But again, to each their own, that varies. That will be in a different video. We can discuss, you know, preference and stuff like that. But for this video, I am trying to demonstrate. So we're going to continue climbing the ladder. That was the Stigma 00 11-round shader. And as you can see, this one was the standard Rhein 9-round shader. So, you know, the diameter is a big deal. Now for these last two, these are both going to be the diameter of standard. They're both going to be 12, which is standard. This one's going to be a 14-round shader. This one's going to be an 18-round shader. Let's go ahead and do the 14-round shader. We may need to come down here for the 18-round shader, and that's okay, because I know the 14-round shader is going to be bold, and then the 18-round shader is going to be even bolder. So these large of configurations are some of my favorite configurations personally. I do love bold line tattoos. So as you can see, that jumps up tremendously in terms of thickness. Very, very nice. And this one is going to be the standard 14 round shader. I don't want to make any mistakes upon labeling. And this is going to be Rhein, a Rhein cartridge. I love Rhein as well. These needles are also great. 14. Shader. So as you see, there's that one right there. The 18 round shader is going to be exponentially larger, and which we're going to climb that ladder right around now. So this one is going to be from Precision Needle. This is an awesome cartridge right here as well. This is going to be, just to confirm, a standard 18 round shader, and we're going to put that one down here because we obviously do not have any more room right there. And also, this is going to be a long taper configuration. So the diameter is going to go to a finer point over a standard taper. But this 18 round shader is still really, really bold. For me personally, whenever the configuration gets this large, a long taper does not bother me personally. So this is going to be the Precision Needle standard 18 round shader, long taper. Now this is very, very large right here. I'm a big fan of this specific configuration right here. Or just larger configurations in general. Again, for like bold line tattoos, traditional stuff like that. Very, very nice. And then the diameter is 12. This is going to be 18 round shader. So that is the 18 round shader, long taper, as you can see, and that is still exponentially larger than all of the other configurations. So you can kind of get a good idea of the spacing in between the needles from round shaders to round liners. Allow me to bring this up close here for you all. Now, for the sake of consumption, I think I'm going to go ahead and keep this video strictly to the round liners and round shaders. We will leave round mags for a different video, as there's various aspects that I would like to touch base on for mags. But for this, you can go ahead and get a good idea. This would actually give me some great insight as to what would be a more appropriate needle for the tattoo at hand. Now, as you can see, the variables upon picking a tattoo needle are important. So knowing what you're looking for in the tattoo needles is very important. That's going to help you in a better direction pick needles out that better suit the design at hand. Now, if you have any questions, if I didn't shed light or touch base on anything specific that you may have wanted to know at any point throughout this video, please feel free to drop it in the comments below, and I'm going to do my best to assist you in the best possible direction. If you're not, be sure to go ahead and give me a follow on social medias. I have social medias all under the same name at Daniel Yuck, DanielYuck. I would genuinely appreciate the support there. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for me, as I will be bringing more videos like this. Thank you for tuning in yet again. You have a great day.